Welcome! When you think of the deadliest plagues in human history, your mind probably goes to the scary stuff, yes? The Black Death. Swarms of disease-carrying rats, coughing up blood, or people turning into literal zombies. But what if I told you that in the summer of 1518, the citizens of a major European city faced a plague so bizarre, so absolutely terrifying, that the only symptom was an unstoppable urge to bust a move? We are talking about a plague where you could not stop. Your feet would bleed, your bones would crack, your heart would scream for mercy. But your legs? Your legs had a mind of their own. This is the story of the day a whole city danced themselves straight into the grave. Our story begins in July 1518, in the busy city of Strasbourg, which is in modern-day France, but back then was part of the Holy Roman Empire. It is a hot, miserable summer. People are starving, the harvest is bad, and everyone is incredibly stressed. And then, on a completely normal Tuesday, a woman named Frau Trophäa steps out of her house. She doesn't say a word, she doesn't scream, she doesn't even smile. She just starts dancing. She begins to do a frantic, erratic jig down the narrow, cobblestone street. She spins, hops, and kicks her legs wildly. Now, her husband thinks, "Yay! Okay, maybe she just really likes this street." He begs her to stop and come back inside to finish cooking the turnip soup. But Frau Trophäa cannot stop. She dances down the street, dances through the marketplace, and dances around the local well. Hour after hour passes. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and she is still dancing. Eventually, her muscles give out, and she collapses into a puddle of her own sweat, gasping for air. Her husband sighs, thinking the madness is over. But the very next morning, she wakes up, and before she even opens her eyes, her feet are already moving. She is back on her feet, dancing again. And this is where things go from a weird family dispute to a historical emergency. By the end of the week, 34 other people have joined her in her silent, sweaty rave. By the end of the month, there are 400 people dancing in the streets of Strasbourg. No music is playing, just the sound of 400 pairs of leather shoes slapping against the cobblestones. Now, the City Council of Strasbourg has a massive problem on their hands. You can't run a city when half of your workforce is doing the Macarena in the public square. So, they do what any sensible 16th century government does. They call in the local doctors and priests. The priests are convinced it is a curse from the devil. But the doctors? The doctors have a scientific explanation. They declare that the dancers are suffering from hot blood. Yes, you heard that right. According to 16th century medicine, the dancers' blood has literally overheated, causing their brains to short circuit. And what is the cure for hot blood? Today, we would suggest rest, water, and maybe a cool, damp towel. But the medical geniuses of Strasbourg decided that the only way to cool down hot blood is to make them dance even more. They figure, if they just keep dancing, they will eventually sweat all the hot blood out of their systems. So, the city council comes up with a plan that they believe is a stroke of genius. They don't quarantine the dancers. No. They build a massive wooden stage in the center of the town square to give them more room. They hire professional musicians to play bagpipes, horns, and drums to keep the rhythm going. And they even hire professional strongmen to stand next to the exhausted citizens, physically holding them up so they can keep shaking their hips. Unsurprisingly, this was a terrible, horrible, no-good idea. The music is blasting, the crowd is cheering, but there is absolutely no joy in this dance. The dancers are screaming for help, begging the musicians to stop playing. But the musicians, paid by the city, just keep playing louder. Imagine the horror. You have been dancing for 3 days straight. Your toes are broken, your skin is raw, and you are so dehydrated you can barely swallow. But every time you try to sit down, a giant guard grabs you by the collar, pulls you up, and forces you to keep jigging. This went on for weeks. Under the blazing summer sun, the extreme physical exertion became too much for the human body to handle. People started having massive strokes. Others suffered heart attacks. Many collapsed from sheer, fatal exhaustion. 15 people were dying every single day. Strasbourg had become a literal city of the dead, where the only sound was the grim, rhythmic thumping and the desperate wheeze of the bagpipes. By September, the city council finally realized that their dance it out strategy was a colossal failure. They quickly banned all public dancing. They banned music. They even made it illegal to play bagpipes or drums in public, unless it was for a wedding. But the remaining dancers still couldn't stop. So, the council turned to their last hope: religion. They believed the dancers had angered Saint Vitus, a Christian martyr known to protect against neurological disorders, but also rumored to curse sinners with uncontrollable dancing fits. They threw the twitching dancers into wagons and hauled them up to a shrine of Saint Vitus in the nearby hills. Put red leather shoes on the dancers' feet, drew holy crosses on their soles, and sprinkled them with holy water. And, believe it or not, it actually worked. One by one, the dancers stopped. The muscles relaxed, the eyes closed, and Strasbourg was finally quiet again. So, what actually happened? Modern historians and scientists have spent centuries trying to figure out this bizarre event. Some think it was ergot poisoning, a toxic mold that grows on damp rye bread, which contains chemicals similar to LSD. It can cause spasms and hallucinations. But ergot poisoning usually cuts off blood circulation, which makes it physically impossible to dance for days. The most likely theory? It was a mass psychogenic illness, otherwise known as mass hysteria. The citizens of Strasbourg were so stressed by famine, disease, and religious fear snapped, triggering a physical manifestation of their trauma. So, the next time you feel stressed and want to dance your worries away, maybe just do it for 5 minutes. And definitely do not call the Strasbourg City Council. If you enjoyed this bizarre trip through history, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that like button, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye!